He also allegedly installed an app with a listening device on his 5-year-old daughter's iPad that was left in the bedroom. When Ali began listening, he heard his wife talking and laughing with another man. Prosecutors allege that sent Ali into a jealous rage. He went back to the apartment with the gun. He reportedly shot Rayburn Barron 3 times at close range, in the neck, cheek, and the back of the head, before turning the gun on his wife and shooting her once in the forehead.
Yeah. Whoa.
Todd-Town family, what's the biz? Y'all already know what it is, man. Positive vibes always, all days. You know how I'm rocking, and it ain't nothing to it but to do it. So we about to jump right into it. I hope all is well out there. Y'all already know, gotta send a positive energy to my Todd-Town family. If you haven't already, please hit that like, share, subscribe, and notification button so you can stay up to date with the latest and greatest content you don't want to miss. Anywho, without further ado, welcome to Todd-Town.
From rising TikTok star,
Okay, what can I get? Hey, handsome. What you call me? Sorry, man. I have a venti dolce caramel macchiato with no ice. What the is wrong with this guy, man? You kidding me or what?
to double murder defendant. A former social media content creator is heading to trial for murder after he allegedly shot and killed his estranged wife and her friend who he thought she was cheating on him with. Ali Abulaban, who went by his username Jin Kid, is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder for the deaths of his 28-year-old estranged wife Anna and her friend 29-year-old Rayburn Barron. According to prosecutors, Ali installed a listening device into his 5-year-old daughter's iPad, and when he heard his wife and another man talking, he went to her home and shot them both to death. Then, still armed, he picked up his daughter from school. The details were shocking, as many of his followers seemed stunned by the crime and his subsequent arrest. And here's what else we know. The former influencer was arrested in 2021 after allegedly confessing to the fatal shooting at a luxury high-rise apartment in San Diego. According to prosecutors, Anna asked her husband to move out in October of 2021, and he checked into a hotel. A few days later, Ali snuck back into the apartment with the key he allegedly copied to get in and trashed the space while his wife was gone. He also allegedly installed an app with a listening device on his 5-year-old daughter's iPad that was left in the bedroom. When Ali began listening, he heard his wife talking and laughing with another man. Prosecutors allege that sent Ali into a jealous rage. He went back to the apartment with the gun. He reportedly shot Rayburn Barron 3 times at close range, in the neck, cheek, and the back of the head, before turning the gun on his wife and shooting her once in the forehead. After the shooting, prosecutors say he called his mother and confessed. He fled the building, picked up his daughter from school with a loaded gun in his car, then told his daughter he hurt mommy and would be apprehended by police. According to investigators, that statement came true. With his young daughter still in the car, Ali was stopped by police later that day and arrested.
Sadly, this is not uncommon, especially now we're seeing the increase of, different types of technology to be able to track people more easily. I mean, before, if you wanted to follow someone, you literally had to get in your car and follow them. Now there's tracking devices that you can link to the car, that you can link to the phone. There's different ways to be able to follow and track someone without leaving the comfort of your living room. So unfortunately, this is not uncommon.
Melba Pearson is an attorney and former prosecutor. She explains the case is classic stalking behavior that escalated tragically.
And this is a very sad and disturbing case, but sadly, it's not unusual. This is clearly an outgrowth from domestic violence. The victim in this case, one of the victims, the estranged wife, Anna, had actually had an incident a month before the murder, which was a case where the defendant was aggressive towards her and violent. I believe law enforcement was involved in that call. And we saw that his behavior escalated to the point that he was stalking her, staying at a hotel not too far away to monitor her activities, as well as going so far as to downloading an app on their child's iPad in order to continue to monitor and see if she's with someone else. This is classic stalking and domestic violence behavior, and another warning as to how quickly this can escalate into a horrible, horrible outcome, as we've seen here.
Authorities say it wasn't the first time Ali had been accused of violence against his wife. Prosecutors say just a month before her murder, Anna filed a domestic violence police report against Ali after he allegedly pushed and injured her in front of their daughter. A couple that lived across the street from Ali and Anna testified in a hearing that a month before the shooting, Anna had knocked on their door and asked them to call the police because Ali hit her. The neighbor said Anna asked to use their phone because Ali had taken hers away. A sergeant with the San Diego Police Department said they were called to the couple's apartment on 9 different occasions in the months leading up to the murders. Ali was never arrested or charged in connection to those incidents. Prior to the shooting, Ali was seemingly a rising star for his social media content. He garnered nearly 1 million followers on TikTok and nearly 200,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. Much of his content was his voice impressions on celebrities such as Nicolas Cage, Tekashi 6ix9ine, and the fictional character Scarface.
Speak English when you talk to me, okay? That was English. I'll have a venti, caramel, dolce. What the f*** you talking about? A venti. What is that? A large?
Ali and Anna would even make social media videos together.
Drama free, huh?
The reality is, looks can be very, very deceiving. I think we all know that from our personal lives, right? But the reality is, you can't look at someone and say, oh, yeah, that person's definitely a domestic abuser, right? Like, there's no race or socioeconomic status or anything like that that is an indicator that you will be a domestic violence abuser. Anyone can be an abuser. You can be wealthy, you can be from an under-resourced area, you can be a celebrity. You know, we do recall that O.J. Simpson passed away within the last couple of weeks. And again, he was somebody who was a huge star and regarded as one of the greatest running backs of all time. Yet, despite being found not guilty in a court of law, I think we all reflecting and looking at the facts and having a greater understanding of what domestic violence looks like now, I think most people can agree that he was involved in some way, shape, or form. Regardless, we know what the jury verdict was. But again, we had to evolve as a society in terms of talking about domestic violence, understanding how it shows up, understanding how lethal it can be. So just in comparison, as we are here today, just because someone is a star on TikTok or is on your favorite reality show or is a news correspondent or whatever the case may be, just because you're in the public eye does not take away your human frailties or having very dark and evil thoughts.
Agreed.
And here's what else we know about the former couple. The two moved from Virginia to San Diego, California in February of 2021, just 8 months prior to the murders. 2 years ago, when Ali sat down for a jailhouse interview with Fox 5 San Diego, he said he wanted to be an actor, and the weekend before the shooting, he was meeting with producers and working to get a talent agent. He said the cracks in their relationship began to show when they moved to San Diego. He blamed Anna for partying too much. However, Ali's cousin told the Fox 5 reporter his rising TikTok fame and his alleged drug addiction were to blame for the couple's marital issues, which Ali denied. And here's what we know about the other victim in the case, 29-year-old Rayburn Barron. It's unclear when he and Anna met. However, prosecutors say the two were just friends. According to a GoFundMe page, his family says Rayburn was an amazing brother, son, nephew, cousin, and friend. He dedicated his life to putting his family first and was known as the glue to his family. And he made an impact on so many lives with his love and thoughtful acts. So what could Ali's trial look like in the future? Pearson says the alleged confession could prove crucial to the prosecution's case.
I think that confession is going to come in and be critical to the prosecution's case because, again, law enforcement was not involved. It was one of those things where it was basically a spontaneous statement that he made to a family member. And at the end of the day, the mother will be subject to cross-examination, and I believe he's being represented by the public defender's office. The public defender will be able to cross-examine the mother and talk about, well, did you have a motive to lie? And try to get at all of those aspects and try to destroy her credibility. But it's going to be really difficult because it's his own mother. It'd be a little different if it was one of the victim's mothers or something like that. And so then there could be more of a quote unquote motive to lie or motive to misrepresent because you want to get your loved one out of trouble. This is a completely different scenario where, not that it's super rare, but most parents aren't running to turn their kids in, right? They're going to try to look for alternative ways to be able to assist. But for a parent to testify against their child, that pretty much lends a lot of credibility and I would think the jury is going to give that a lot of weight, as well as the child. Now, the 5-year-old daughter, I would be, as a former prosecutor, I'd be very hesitant to put her on the stand. This is traumatizing enough as it was for her.
Yeah.
And then now to put her in a courtroom setting around strangers. She's lost her mother. Her father's on trial. That is too damaging for a young child. So if there's a way to be able to prove the case with solely the evidence with regards to the statements he's made, any digital or forensic evidence, anything that was collected from the crime scene, that would be the path I would personally choose if I was trying this case. But again, it's a matter of what evidence is available to the prosecution in deciding who they will put on the stand.
Ali is charged with first-degree murder, meaning he's facing the rest of his life behind bars.
The key between first and second-degree murder is that time for reflection. So if you had time to calm down, if you had time to make a different decision, then that lends towards premeditation versus the typical scenario of, let's say, he walked in and found her with someone else.
Right.
Then if a murder ensued in that particular situation, the defense could argue that this is a second-degree murder because he did not have time to cool down and cool off. But the fact that he had the time to leave his hotel room, however long it took to get from the room to the elevator, to the stairs, to the car, to then drive to his ex's house, to then confront the two of them, there was plenty of time for reflection and for him to pick a different path and not go and harm his ex-wife. Right. So I think first-degree murder is completely appropriate in this case. I think because of the fact that he was stalking her, that there had been prior violence, that he made the confessions that he did, the prosecution made the right decision in charging him with 2 counts of first-degree premeditated murder.
As a former social media creator,
fuck the justice system, y'all failed. Talking about the right, like y'all always.
is slated to go on trial soon. Pearson explains cases like this are far too common, and anyone who may be experiencing something similar should know there are resources that could be life-saving.
What he did clearly showed his mental state, showed the escalation of the violence. And I think it's going to be very critical information for the jury to hear, to see the lengths that he went, that this was not an accident. This was not in a heat of passion. This was not a one-off. This is something that has been escalating and building throughout their relationship. So again, it's just another sad lesson for all of us to be very vigilant and understand that if someone is trying to leave a domestic violence relationship, that is the most dangerous time for them, because that fear and that loss of control on the part of the abuser usually triggers a violent response. So in terms of getting relocation services, getting any kind of assistance, if you can provide assistance to someone who's dealing with this situation, there's resources out there. Be sure to educate yourself and try and help someone. If there is someone in your circle that's dealing with this, try to help them, because that literally could be saving a life.
Ali Abulabon has been held behind bars since his 2021 arrest without bail. It's unclear if he's had contact with his daughter. In 2021, a judge issued a protective order that required him to stay away from her. Abulabon is scheduled for a hearing next week, then jury selection is slated for the following week. If convicted, he faces life in prison. Reporting for Law and Crime, I'm Elizabeth Milner.
9 different incidents and he was never arrested. Man, the justice system failed again. Again. It's not so much that it's the cases that constantly happen, but what about the justice system? 9 different incidents, the police was called. That could have been prevented, as always. I mean, you look at these cases and most of them, you see how many times, police was contacted. You see how many times, it could have been some type of intervention from the higher power or authority. And it's unfortunate that we it's always until the tragic happens. That's when, of course, you know, they step in and then we got a murder on our hand. But like I say, you know, the prevention part, you know, and this guy thinking he's some type of Hollywood star, goofy, you know, who you think you are? Whatever, you know. I always say, man, love yourself. You know what I'm saying? When you love yourself, you again, man, you'll never get to this point on some stalker. I can't let her be. Man, it's too many fish in the sea to be acting like that. At least that's my belief. I've never felt to be so confined to one person in life. If that one person don't want you anyway, why want to be with somebody that don't want you? Like, that's the craziest part to me anyway. Like, right? Like, even after a while, like, you trying, and then they like, all right, let me, do you really feel that's genuine? So, again, man, it's definitely something mental there. It's definitely something mental there. Man, unfortunate, RIP to her. The little girl, she's definitely got something that she's got to think about for some, you know, some years to come. And I truly hope that she has the right people around her to guide her into the right direction she needs to go, considering her situation. Again, man, RIP to the young lady. Oh, goofy. Oh, he goofy. Anywho, man, I want to appreciate everybody for tuning in. Another one, Todd-Town. I want to appreciate all the love and the support, everybody that's rocking. I see it. I see it. I see it. If you haven't already, please hit that like, share, subscribe, and notification button so you can stay up to date with the latest and greatest content. And as always, until next time, I'm checking out. Peace.
Yeah. Whoa.